Greetings and welcome to the patch notes for 7.0, which is not only a patch, but also the Dawntrail expansion. And even though they are in a preliminary status right now, we will have a good glimpse of what's to come, and I highly recommend checking them out for yourself, or maybe just watch Meoni's video or MrHappy. I will just focus on all that stuff that is system changes, and like I said, I'm always in the spot of not spoilering myself too much, so I'm just skipping through all the MSQ stuff. I'm skipping through all the info here that is a very big spoiler for the experience. Yeah, of course, launch trailer, we had that, cities. I will just skip through that. Like I said, I'm not interested in getting spoiled by pictures here. Even the quests and all that stuff is something that I'm interested in finding out myself in the game and not reading here. So this is the first thing that is kind of changed for, yeah, indicators that, yeah, are noticeable more now when you follow NPCs around, and they will have an indicator of which direction they're heading, as you can see here as well. Inside the duty list, we also have a change, and you can use emotes or opening crafting log from that duty list, and that's very, very handy. Players may now adjust text and auto advanced settings to apply only voice dialogue, okay? This here is one thing I want to mention very, very keenly, because you now have bicolor gemstones being rewarded in 7.0 fates and areas. So this is still, as I can read it here, it's bicolor gemstones. So if you accumulate them, collect them, and keep them now, you could do so in 20 hours easily by just doing fates in Endwalker. You have a good amount of them available right at the start of Dawntrail, and you can just hop into any of the NPCs to get various goods, whatever that might be pets, mounts, whatever. Could also be flying speed or mounted speed on the ground, but it's still not sure if you need those Dawntrail fates beforehand, and you have to unlock certain levels and ranks to get any of the rewards at all. So I'm not sure about that, just keep that in mind. Gemstones, bicolor gemstones, you should collect them. So maximum store of bicolor gemstone has been increased from 1000 to 1500, and fates that grant a bonus to experience points gained will now also grant a bonus to earned bicolor gemstones. The game client will now respawn more quickly when opening the shared fate window or changing between categories. Oh, alright. Large scale fates that take place at fixed locations will now also appear on the map like regular fates. Okay, that's also something. I'm not sure if they mean A-rank trains like that. Larger fates take place. Yeah, we will see about that. Treasure hunt. Okay, they have adjusted something here. Excitatron 6000 and the shifting Gymnasium Argonon will now be level synced, adjusting players to levels 90. And they also have added new maps here, and Elagan tomestones rewarded for completion for Saiga skin treasure maps, Kumbara skin treasure maps, and Ophiotauro skin treasure maps have been changed from Elagan tomes of causality and Elagan tomestones of comedy to Elagan tomestones of poetics. That's in line with, they will change every tomestone into poetics. That's just an old tomestone that you have available right now in Endwalker, and as soon as Dawntrail launches, you will have them all translated into poetics. So keep in mind that everything you collect now will turn into poetics, but you can also get gear that is connected to all of these tomestones for poetics now. So don't worry too much. You will automatically just get everything for poetics then. Viper and Pictoman as symbol options have been added to the charge category of the company crest editor. Additional items will now be accepted for supply and provisioning missions. New craftable items have been added to the company workshop, and following additions and adjustments have been made to subaquatic voyages. New areas have been added, items have been added, and maximum submersible rank has been increased from 115 to 120. In accordance with the increased character level cap, level 100 striking dummies have been added. Yeah, which look very futuristic here. New equestrian rods have been added, of course. New aquarium fish have been added. A new seed for flower pots has been added. And yeah, here you can see the material supplier connected to it. The Mandeville Gold Saucer. New prizes are available for purchase using MGP. Is that the old school Red Mage outfit? That's awesome. That's cool. Following additions have been made to Triple Triad. New cards have been added. New NPC opponents of Triple Triad have been added. Players can now engage in Triple Triad matches in new areas. Card numbers have been added to the item description of all Triple Triad cards. Miscellaneous. Players can now select female Hrothgar when creating character. Remember that the now is meant for Dawntrail, so whenever Dawntrail is being released, so not already. Regardless of your progression in the main scenario, female Hrothgar will be selectable when creating new characters, editing your character's appearance using Fantasia, or hiring a retainer. A winning entry from the Final Fantasy XIV hairstyle design contest is now available. As you can see here, that's actually some of the better ones. This looks a lot like the design they have in Attack on Titan, or yeah, the usual anime hairstyle here. Yeah, I like that, especially for the male version. That's very, very cool. New hairstyles have been added, so more of them. Nice, the man bun. I guess that's the one that our Warrior of Light is wearing, right? It definitely looks like that. So you can see that on a female Yor or male Viera. Yeah, that's definitely something I was expecting, but the result looks quite nice. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the Trust system. Kryal has been added as a new avatar NPC. She will become available after progressing to a certain point in the main scenario. In accordance with the increased character level cap, the level cap for avatar NPCs has also been increased. By progressing through the main scenario, avatar NPCs can reach a maximum level of 100. And new glamours will be unlocked for avatar NPCs that reach level 100. The Dawntrail category has been added to duty support, and the following additions and adjustments have been made to Wondrous Tales. Prices available in exchange for Chloe's Gold Certificate of Commendation, Chloe's Silver Certificate of Commendation, and Bronze Certificate of Commendation have been adjusted. The following duties have been added as objectives for Wondrous Tales. So yeah, basically the new content and some of the Endwalker and trials here, as you can see. The following raids and alliance raids have been grouped together into raid series categories. So the addition of these duties will not affect a Wondrous Tales in your possession prior to reaching level 100, with at least one Disciple of War or Magic. Completing any duty from a series will be counted toward objectives granting a seal. Oh, that's awesome. Because then, yeah, you just can choose whatever you want from this group here and get the connected seal. That's definitely cool. Dawntrail entries have been added to the sightseeing log, of course. Skywatcher NPCs have been added to the new areas. Following additions and adjustments have been made to Island Sanctuary. I don't know. Check this out for yourself. Never dipped one toe into Island Sanctuary because I just don't like that, the playstyle aspect of it. Okay, so battle system. We don't have job changes being listed here, but of course, some additions like the Viper being introduced, and of course, all level caps will be raised to 100. Yeah, I don't know. Job changes are not so critical right now because the balancing is all over the place at the start of an expansion, and they will adjust that as soon as the raid is being released. You should not worry too much about that if your job is underperforming or overperforming, whatever. The Joy of Pictomancer. Yeah, check out these quests here if you want to unlock the Pictomancer. And of course, the Viper will be in Uldar and Pictomancer will be in Old Gridania. So keep these in mind. The Cheerless Hera and the Worried Weaver, the first being in Gridania and the second being in Uldar for Viper. So keep these in mind. That's very important if you want to start right into that. Check out my video about that again, how you can prepare some leveling aspects for Viper and Pictomancer, or for your other old jobs or your main job even. But I guess main jobs should still be leveled through the main scenario quest, which I guess they haven't changed so far. Actions and traits have been adjusted, of course. We've seen that on the job action trailer and on media tour. The layout of the Blue Magic Spellbook interface has been adjusted. Following adjustments have been made to limit breaks. Monks will no longer change position when executing Final Heaven. Dragoons will no longer change position when executing Dragonsong Dive. Okay, so you don't have the input delay anymore as much, I guess. I think that's to work this off a bit. Certain status effects granted by classes and jobs actions will now be removed when changing areas or entering an instance, dungeon, or duty. Right. The effect of certain monsters and NPC actions have been adjusted. The armory bonus granted below level 90 has been increased from 50% to 100%. Okay. That is awesome. That also means your leveling efforts of Pictomancer and Viper will be much, much higher, as you will have double the amount of armory bonus now, which works for basically everything where you can get experience points. So remember that. This is awesome. And if you just grinded up your characters now, you might just have waited because it's way faster below 90. But yeah, I think before that we had below 70 or below 80 even. where the 50% is going to 100%, so it might not be a big deal just for the Endwalker levels. This is a huge difference now, of course. In accordance with the increased level cap, new world and preferred world character bonuses now apply to all jobs at level 89 or below. So yeah, keep that in mind. And yeah, of course, enemies and dungeons, we don't look at that. No trial, no NPCs. I don't want to see that here. I want to experience that in game. If you don't like that, I'm sorry. Just visit Meoni's or MrHappy's videos. I think they will just cover everything, but I'm just not interested in spoiling here myself and you as well. Okay, so as you can see, this is the list, what I just mentioned. Everything will be translated and conversed into Alagan Tomestones of Poetics. So there are some of these that are just being removed, and you can just transform them into Poetics, but naturally comedy, causality will be translated into Poetics. You can exchange them for Alagan Tomes of Poetics after release of patch 7.0, as you can see here. And astronomy needs to be exchanged if you still want the value of them, and now you can change them to Poetics, so definitely make sure to do that. That means we will have everything listed to Poetics and be obtained through Poetics, regardless of what expansion we're talking about. Stormblood, Heavensward, yeah, Shadowbringers, and now even Endwalker being put back into that. The raid finder only lists trials and duties introduced with patch 7.0. However, the Unending Call of Bahamut Ultimate, the Weapons Refrain Ultimate, the Epic of Alexander Ultimate, Dragon Song Reprise Ultimate, and the Omega Protocol Ultimate can still be accessed via the raid finder. New duty finder has been adjusted as follows. Yeah, it's always the same here, right? We have new duties, they will adjust that. They will put the new dungeons into the expert. Duty roulette leveling will include the new leveling dungeons, and of course, we have the new tomestones of aesthetics and poetics, of course, being the pendant on the lower level range, and aesthetics now serving as the high-end gear. The requirements to register for duty roulette alliance raids have been changed. Before, players must meet average item level requirements commensurate with the level of their current class or job at the time of registration. Players now must meet the highest item level requirements among the alliance raids they can enter at their current class or job level at the time of registration. Yeah, this seems to be serving as that, well, people just grinding through Circus Tower, for example, by just unequipping gear so that they can enter into this alone and don't have the higher World of Darkness, for example. And they'll have the quicker alliance raid, but in my opinion, the way less fun alliance raid. So that's actually a good change. You have more variety now, and people cannot just trick the system by unequipping stuff and all that. That's definitely a good change in my opinion. PvP actions for Viper and Pictomancer have been added, and the following additions and adjustments have been made to the Wolf's Den Pier. New items are available in exchange for trophy crystals and wolf marks. Series 5 will end and Series 6 will begin, and as you can see, this looks like the new mount here. So yeah, we'll see about that. Season 11 will end and pre-release or pre-season will begin, with, of course, the top 100 ranking players from each data center will receive vouchers via the Moogle delivery service. Players finishing in the bronze tier or higher can claim rewards by speaking with a seasonal quartermaster at Wolf's Den Pier. Learn more about rewards, and new items have been added. I guess these might be the new sets in Dawntrail, which look awesome. I think even though the picture's always a bit pixelated here, these look quite promising. But of course, that seems to be the trophy exchange, so they might just be reworks. It seems very familiar. I'm not sure if that's just a rework of a set that we already had, but at least, yeah, we have something for trophy crystals, which I like to have. Alright, so new recipes have been added, but the volume of recipes added is too much that they don't list it here, of course. That is something I absolutely understand. Facewear, a new form of accessories for the head, separate from other equipable accessories, have been added. Facewear can now be equipped via a new equipment slot in the character window or by accessing the Facewear interface under character in the main menu, and will also appear in portraits. So yeah, that's for the glasses and all that stuff. They have shown that in the media tour or in the live letter. Facewear can now be acquired by using corresponding items such as a copy of the faces we wear. Oval spectacles. Once acquired, they can be freely equipped or removed at any time and customized with a selection of 12 colors. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm also very hyped for the multi-die systems, but remember, they already announced that they will not have this available for every piece of gear that's in the game, and they will just backwards design them yeah, as soon as Dawntrail starts and they have some free time to do so. Players will now acquire Facewear in place of the aforementioned fashion accessories. Fashion accessories listed above will no longer appear in the fashion accessories window. However, players who acquired them prior to patch 7.0 may obtain corresponding Facewear free of charge by speaking with the Calamity Salvagers located in Limsa, Lominsa, Gridania, and Ul'dah. It should be also noted that the items used to acquire these fashion accessories have not been removed from the game. If one is in your inventory or obtained via trading or the market board, it can be used to obtain corresponding Facewear. Okay. And yeah, we also have some item icons for files of Fantasia and Retainer Fantasia, which will now include a marker to better distinguish them from one another. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if I still can see that in a very small window from my inventory, but it's good to have a distinctive factor here, at least on the icon. Certain items can now be sold, desynthesized, or submitted for expert delivery missions. Whatever that means, certain items. But yeah, we'll see about that. Grade 8 Dark Matter can be used to repair level 91 to 100 gear. Okay, so new Dark Matter is available in Dawntrail. Viper and Pictomancer have been added as required jobs for certain gear. Yeah, I guess the scouting gear for Viper and Pictomancer on the mage gear. That's also something I guess must be very, very tough to add into the game later on, to have all the descriptions of gear being changed and have the class being added. Maybe they have an algorithm that's written for the whole system. That would be awesome if they just have to implement that. But I fear somebody has to manually implement that and adjust that. But on the other hand, I have never seen any writing mistake or anything like that, which should be the case if you just copy or just use everything manually and change everything manually. It might be an algorithm, and I hope so. I hope so for the developers, of course. The following additions and adjustments have been made to dice. So we have the multi-dice system here, as you can see here in a glimpse of that, and up to 2 dice can now be used on a single piece of gear. Gear that allows more than 1 die will display 2 separate die tabs in the item dying window, and additional gear that allows for multiple dice will be added gradually in the future updates. Like I said, they will back design this as soon as they have time. Following this change to dyeing, currently selected instant portraits may need to be edited, of course. Undo color selection and redo color selection buttons have been added to the item dyeing window. Yeah, just check that out. This is a whole new window here, and I think we have to test that out for ourselves, and the description doesn't help too much if you don't just test it for yourself. The furnishing, ceiling, wax, and ladder set is now dyeable. The following items can now be equipped regardless of gender. The Fairy Tale Prince. It's always good to have this being equipable regardless of any restriction. Sundry Splendors, a one-stop shop for gear and items purchased in exchange for Alagan tomestones and scripts, has been added to Old Charlian. The shop is unlocked after completing the main scenario quest Endwalker. We'll check this out whenever Dawntrail goes live. The layout of gear exchange menus has been unified. The following adjustments have been made to gear exchanges for Alagan tomestones of astronomy, causality, and comedy. Yeah, like I said, they will just transfer everything here into Poetics, and you can just get everything with upgrades. The base item for such. You can upgrade also if you just had the base item. Now you just spend 100 Alagan tomes of Poetics, which is phenomenal and might help some people actually to improve their gear for very minimal effort. New items have been added to the inventory of Calamity Salvagers. New items are available from Calamity Salvagers in exchange for silver chocobo feathers, the Doctor's Scimitar and Warded Round Shield, and Doctor's Cudgel and Night Prowler's Targe. Okay, so Verdant Scepter and Warlock's Buckler will no longer drop separately in the Aurum Vale, hence instead drop together as Black Mage's Verdant Arms. Okay. New items are available in exchange for societal currency from allied societies in 2.0 areas. Players must progress to a certain point in the respective allied societies quest to exchange for these items. The time until actions may be used after consuming certain medicinal items has been reduced. Okay. After using the following items to grant a boost to experience points earned from synthesis, a system message will now be displayed when their effect expires. Okay, that's good. Otherwise, just the buff did wear off and you could not really figure out when that happened, and especially when you just had your mass crafting on another screen. I mean, the legal mass crafting, like if you just level with these by, yeah, mass crafting. And that was definitely something you could do. The level cap for Disciples of the Hand and Land has been increased to level 100. If you don't watch my video that will come after this one here, make sure that your leaf allowances are stacked to 100, because that is always and will always be the best way to start and grind yourself into leveling your crafters. If you want to get there and maybe just jump over through certain steps, then have these allowances available. Orange Crafter scripts and Orange Gatherer scripts currencies have been added to Disciples of the Hand and Disciples of Land that are level 100. Players can begin exchanging their collectible items for these scripts at Splendor's exchanges and custom deliveries starting at level 100 and can have up to a maximum of 4,000 at any time. Okay, so as you can see here, the scripts thing for purple scripts, white scripts, and yellow scripts is quite the same like it is with Tomestones of Poetics. Everything will be accumulated into one thing that is kind of the past currency, and now we have the new currency. So check this out if you want to list it and further go and prepare that for your crafters. But yeah, like I said, that's not too much of a deal. Just go for having all of these allowances available to level. But yeah, of course, if you want more info about that, definitely check out Zane Lionhart. Always my top recommendation when coming to crafting or gathering and preparing for expansions or patches. So definitely check out Zane Lionhart, found in the description. So new mounts have been added. The alpaca, that's very cute, especially with the Lala here. I love it. New minions have been added. Oh, nice. That's the first real cat that we have, and she looks beautiful. That's really, really good. Very well designed. Okay. Nice, nice. New chocobo bardings. Of course we have the Mexican chocobo now. Doing some pistol shot duels with other chocobos. I don't know. Do chocobos have pistol fights in the plain heat of the desert sun? I'm not sure about that. Oh, okay. Look at that. This umbrella looks very futuristic, but I like the lighting effects here, the glitter and the shine. That's definitely cool. Yeah, system graphical update. Improved movement of certain weapons, tools, and gear. Character tilting when turning on certain mounts. Certain environmental effects such as water splashing and smoke will now appear darker in the shadow of nearby objects. Wavering distortion effects when underwater. Subtle eye movements for player characters and certain NPCs. Yeah, they are kind of stiff sometimes. I'm very curious if they change that to a better. Number of features have been implemented following a first graphical update. So remember, there will be multiple graphical updates, so they will just have that in waves. As part of our first graphical update, the following details have been improved. Character hair and face textures, the appearance of skin, player characters, animals, monsters, etc. Appearance of hair on player characters, animals, monsters, etc. Subtle hair movements, the appearance of lenses in glasses and in other glass objects, metallic material on certain gear, characters and objects that are wet, appearance of fog, water and waves, and textures of distant terrain when riding a mount. Soft shadows on PlayStation 5 Series X Windows. Yeah, I guess so. We don't have soft shadows on PlayStation 4. That's the indication here. Shadows used in backgrounds and in certain cutscenes, and changes in lighting due to the passage of time. Okay. Oh, we have something here. Detailed textures for various objects such as rocks, trees, and fabric have been added. And with few exceptions, these updates apply to all content implemented in patch 7.0, but the graphical updates will be applied gradually to older content in future updates. So I'm not sure if that's somewhere in the older updates. This looks a bit like Shadowbringers somewhere. That is definitely not AAA game graphics, but way better than before. You can see the simple pixels here, and you can't make them out here anymore. That's awesome. And these are actually very low resolution pictures. If you watch this in 4K maybe in-game, that's night and day difference. Oh, yeah. Look at that. How many more details we have in this cloth fabric texture here. That's awesome. Yeah, we'll see about that in high resolution in-game. Number of lighting sources used for shadows has been increased. Yeah, we can see that. Following updates have been made to grass. Improved textures, increased density, color spotting, motion from wind and character interactions. Okay, that's something I'm interested in. If we actually see the grass moving when we're walking past it or beside it and circulate some wind, I think that's too much, but yeah, just going through that would be awesome. I think even Witcher 3 did that already, so which has been developed in 2015 or even before that. But it's a whole different engine. We can't compare that directly. Movement from wind will appear more consistent at high frame rates. Okay, that's good to know. Upscaling via AMD FSR 1.0 and NVIDIA DLSS 2.0 has been added. DLSS is only available on Windows. So yeah, as you know, PlayStation uses AMD graphics cards, so you can't use DLSS there. But I think that's not a big deal because FSR is not too bad, even though it's just FSR 1.0, which is a bit of a bummer. But I guess, at least for the AMD graphics card users on PC, I highly expect people to mod something there that you can use FSR 3 or 2 at least, and have that well implemented with shaders or some of these tools that I have heard of. I just heard of. Anti-aliasing via TSCMAA has been added, so not the FXAA bullshit that we had been struggling with for the past years of Final Fantasy XIV. And I hope that we still have, that we finally have this flickering stuff being resolved, because that was awful. It looked horrible. If you watched anything and the background where we had some lighting differences, lights that came through trees or anything like that, the flickering was very, very noticeable and horrible. So I hope that finally this anti-aliasing change will fix that. SSAO via GTAO has been added. So yeah, that's also something. The ambient occlusion now is changing to a more advanced system here, and I'm really curious how that will look. The following additions and adjustments have been made to character creation. Yeah, I think we can skip through that. We can definitely see that already in the benchmark. They have added, or said at least, that all the changes being made to the character creation is also present on the character creation inside the benchmark. So if you want to see these differences now, check out the benchmark that has been updated quite recently. Because yeah, there you will get a glimpse of how your character might look in Dawntrail still. And now with the updated lightings and shadows. Class selection is now grouped by roles. When using the aesthetician, the display of headgear and facewear can now be toggled on or off. Okay, so yeah, that's actually something I think was not present in the character creation. When editing character appearance, by the way, of Fantasia, players will have 60 minutes of in-game playtime from the initial usage to re-edit their appearance as many times as they desire. Okay, that's awesome. This is something I guess no other company is offering. You can still edit your character after you have played it, and maybe you just are disappointed with how the character actually looks in game with different lightings than in the character creation menu, and then just go back and change something. Maybe your nose has a very weird shadow or anything in game. So that's awesome. That's really awesome. And you also have this message that indicates that. New market board has been added to Tuliolal. Yeah, let's just not check whatever is being added in Tuliolal. But of course, the following additions have been made to retainers. They can now do any trade in Tuliolal market and have a level cap increased. Can now be Pictomancer and Viper, of course. But yeah, let's see that piece by piece when the actual expansion is being released. New achievements, of course, titles, elite marks will now be displayed in the recommendations list. So new A rank trains will happen in Dawntrail. I'm excited for hunting down a whole new species of enemies and not just the Endwalker ones that I can't see anymore. I have done too many A rank trains in the past couple of weeks. And I think I'm not the only one, because that's basically the only thing where the servers seem populated again. Yeah, additions of new areas. World map has been updated, of course. Following adjustments has been made to maps on the map. For Limsa Limsa lower decks, the positions of red arrows indicating area boundaries have been adjusted. All maps will now display at high resolution quality. Nice. That's awesome. That's something I was always missing on my interface and try to disable being seen because it's so low resolution, and hopefully that means they have changed that. Following additions have been made to the player search menu. Viper and Pictomancer have been added. 7-point errors have been added under custom, of course. The following adjustments have been made to target information. When targets' remaining HP is set to be displayed as a percentage, decimal values will now always be shown. When the setting display only detrimental effects on you inflict is enabled, it will only be applied to enemy targets. Okay, yeah, that's good for all the visibility aspects and something. Yeah, they have announced something like certain add-on did now planning to implement into the game naturally, so I hope that this will happen in combination to these changes. Following additions and adjustments have been made to the actions and traits windows. Yeah, we now have this hierarchy. They plan to just have an explanation of how your battle system works a bit, with the new visual outlay here. As you can see, they have action change. You can also change if you want to replace certain skills or just have them separately on your hotbar, which of course is absolutely redundant. You don't want to use the Gearskuku when you have Nastron available, and I actually don't know if you can. It doesn't seem so. So just have the normal version of replacing your skills being active, and don't oversaturate your hotbar more than it actually already has. So it already is. The following additions and adjustments have been made to job gauges. Gauges for certain jobs have been added or adjusted. The job gauge details window has been added to reflect those changes. The display of job gauges can now be displayed via the HUD layout menu. Nice. That's a bigger change than expected. Now you can disable job gauges, which means you can now make your interface absolutely clean, 100%, because job gauges could not be changed, could not be removed, and you had to work around them or hide them in a certain spot of your interface that they are not too distracting. But now you can finally adjust them, disable them especially, and hide them. The parameters used for the text command job HUD mode have been adjusted according to the order in which job HUD elements are unlocked. Okay. A glamour guide has been added to the following windows explaining the usage of various fashion-related features such as dyes and glamours. Okay, so a guide of that. Descriptions in the help menu of emotes window have been adjusted. When viewing a repair request, the item details will now include information pertaining to dyes and the fixed material. Okay, it's also good. Requirement to keep the new adventure status have been adjusted as follows. Yeah, you can see it here. These are the changes. A certain change in the main scenario quest progress, of course. Players who fulfill either of the above requirements may set their status to new adventure, and players who no longer have the new adventure status but fulfill the above requirements can restore it by first using the text command /NA status on or NAS status on, then selecting the new adventure status in the edit search info window. The bonus experience points earned when a mentor forms a party with new adventure or returner will now apply until level 90. What was the previous level range? I'm not sure about that. Never did that with a mentor roulette, actually. Never played mentor roulette from neither side. In accordance with the increased level cap, the requirements for new mentors have been adjusted. Yeah, okay. Basically everything from 90 to 100. These are kind of the same here. Yeah, the dungeon completion is the same, just the level requirements. Mentor renewal. Players who are currently mentors must renew their certification during the 7.0 patches. Players who fail to do so will be unable to access certain features during this period. Okay, so yeah, if you're interested in that, check out the new mentor renewal and don't forget to do that in the 7.0 patches cycle. Following additions have been made to the adventurer plates. New accents have been added. What are accents? The color of lettering on the base plate for the 12-volt Blessings Farmer's Kit has been changed to black. Okay, so yeah, basically this kit has been added or adjusted. Log message will now be displayed when newly created characters on new or preferred worlds meet the requirements to receive a guild bonus. Okay, yeah. If you never did this, I highly recommend doing so. Creating a character on a preferred world to get guild and some game time on top of that for your whole account. And that's something I highly recommend everyone to do if they are just short on money. You just have to play to, I think level 20 was it, right? I'm not sure. But yeah, once you reach a certain level, you can get that, and you do that very quickly because of all the bonuses that are being applied on top of the usual stuff. The following additions and adjustments have been made to portraits. New accents have been added. New poses have been added. Okay, so yeah, check this out for yourself. I'm not going through any pose here. New stickers have been added. That's a very clean window, a very clean picture here, wallpaper, whatever. When using monitors with a resolution wider than 16:9, screenshots taken from certain cutscenes or with certain frames in group pose will have copyright information placed within the bounds of a 16:9 resolution. Okay, so if you have a widescreen, maybe the copyright button logo will be here instead of on the right corner. I don't know. Okay, now we have just at Square Enix instead of this one. Okay, that's not too bad, especially if you just take screenshots very often. Duties can now be recorded by a duty recorder have been changed. Okay, so from these two, of course, Thalea. Yeah, okay, nice. And the new ones. By the way, for anybody that haven't tested duty recorder, it's a whole different thing than just recording footage, because you can record certain shots and certain angles that you're not usually able to provide with just playing through that rate. You just have very, very cool camera angles. I highly recommend to check out the videos of DenmoMcstronhuge, for example, who utilized that feature very nicely in most of or many of his videos. So definitely check out DenmoMcstronhuge, who is also a phenomenal and original content creator. So if you want to know how that can look and what you can do with that, maybe to introduce your free company, or if you want to have some cool footage for yourself or show some friends of yours, or even on your YouTube channel or Twitch, then definitely check out this feature. This is awesome. I still haven't utilized that. I'm definitely going to check out with Thalea, because Thalea is actually a beautiful rate. So maybe there are some certain combinations with that. Okay, so the log message that displays when a congested area is inaccessible has been adjusted. Button to temporarily hide display of the chat log has been added. That's awesome. That is awesome. If that has a text command, that would be even more awesome. But yeah, when we already have a button to hide that, that could be something in the future being added as well. Following changes have been made to alarms. Okay, alarms. And yeah, blacklist changes. I think some other content creators talked about that already. We have more space now, I guess, and some new connections with interface, and the interface is a bit more clean and all that stuff. Mute list also has been added. On the social menu, message from mute players, so that you can just ignore them instead of just putting them to blacklist. They can't send you any message or anything like that. If they're members of your party or lines, a notification will be displayed when they speak. So you see that they speak, but you can't read the message unless you're unmuting them again. Term filter has been added, allowing players to mask messages containing specific words from the chat log. So yeah, now you can use a filter for yourself, which could be a bit weird, and people could do some sketchy stuff with that. But I think it's still good that you have this available and you can't be harassed. I think fighting against harassment is always something preferable. In order to reduce server congestion upon release of 7.0, the following measures will be implemented temporarily. A use of data center travel, system world visit will be restricted for certain worlds and data centers, of course. Players who are inactive for 30 minutes will be logged out automatically, and new areas will be split into multiple instances. Yeah, we know that from Endwalker, and I think that's a good idea of fighting congestion and having all people the availability of their expansion and content, and not people just sitting on Limsa and doing their stuff. Of course, there are ways of preventing these mechanisms, but at least they have that for people just being too lazy and not playing the game, but just having their character being logged in and yeah, skipping through the probably very long waiting queue, which might be happen in Dawntrail as well. It might not be on the same level as on Endwalker, but I guess it could be waiting time nonetheless. Okay, so check this out for the PlayStation players. There are some changes. Players can now use the mouse to drag and drop actions onto or off the W cross hotbar. Gradation of the main menu background in gamepad mode has been adjusted to improve visibility. The DualSense Edge wireless controller can now be used on Windows. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I actually really enjoy the controller there. Maybe have to test this against my Xbox controller for my recordings, because I always use my thumbsticks to to hover the camera and turn the camera very smoothly. And maybe that's even better on the DualSense controller. DualSense wireless controllers and DualSense Edge wireless controllers can now be used via Bluetooth on Windows. That's amazing. Yeah, that's really, really amazing because now you have more compatibility. Don't have to buy the dongle from Xbox, the wireless dongle, the official one. And yeah, haptic feedback control sounds and create button functionality are unavailable, of course. That makes sense because Bluetooth doesn't offer that functionality. When connected to a 120Hz monitor, the maximum frame rate for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X is now 120 FPS. This is only a change to a maximum frame rate. The setting will not ensure your system runs at a steady frame rate. Okay, but yeah, you're now able to utilize that 120Hz. That's definitely a good thing. When playing on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, trophies and achievements can now be attained or unlocked if their requirements have been fulfilled while playing on other platforms. Okay, so trophies and achievements are now cross-platform. But I'm not sure because your account can't be across the platform, right? It's just between PlayStation and Xbox, right? Yeah, it seems to just have PlayStation and Xbox being connected together with this trophy system. Following options have been added to the character configuration menu. Hide nearby players when close to quest NPCs. Ah, yeah, that's what they talked about in Live Letter, that you now have, when you have many players standing to the quest NPC, you can choose to not have them displayed and also hide nearby party members, hide nearby players when interacting with quest NPCs. That's really, really good. That's something I actually didn't think about, and they did think about because of Rawban Extreme maybe. But yeah, that was another problem because you could just not start the event. You could click on the NPC, but the event just didn't start, and they worked around that with different measures as well. So yeah, I guess according to how clean Endwalker had been, I hope for Dawntrail to be as clean as well. Alright, so following adjustments have been added to display settings in the system configuration menu. Elementary explanations of graphical options. Okay. Yeah, this is actually one of the topics I want to do directly when Dawntrail starts, before anything gameplay related or story related or content related. I just want to check out how the graphical update works and how the changes affect my performance. We have good comparison videos with that on my backlog, so I can compare that to these videos, and I think that's something I want to highlight first and foremost whenever the Dawntrail is being released. So I will instantly do that. That's my first video when Dawntrail comes out, because I want to ensure that you all have your possibly and to match your hardware's best playtime experience, and regarding to if NVIDIA DLSS, for example, is looking really good in-game, or if it doesn't look good, it should just go natively. But yeah, we'll see about that. These changes here, you could see that in the Dawntrail benchmark already. We had some couple of options that are new and yeah, not present in Endwalker. So yeah, we'll not go into these details now. I will definitely keep you updated with a follow-up video right at the start of Dawntrail, what my perfect graphics settings are and what you should play with, and maybe I can downscale that to other GPUs or PlayStation even, if you have these options in PlayStation. I still don't know. I think PlayStation is always restricted to high frame rate or high quality. It's always in other games like that. But yeah, I'm not sure. Let me know in the comment section how it works on PlayStation 5, if you have more options or if it's just a preset that you can select from. That's something I'm actually interested in. And yeah, Xbox players too. Okay, here I can see the following additions and adjustments have been made to the system configuration interface, PlayStation 4 and 5 and Xbox. So you definitely have some options here, right? Okay, so then never mind, you have some options, but some of them are also getting removed, like the categories here. Okay, it seems that they want to go the right way that I just mentioned, having the maximum graphics or maximum performance options. That's a bit of a shame because I like having granular control over your hardware a bit, especially as the PlayStation and Xbox are using delicate hardware, so they could just do that. But yeah, of course. Additions and adjustments have been made to text commands. Okay, yeah, so all the Facewear stuff, auto target priority. Okay, we will look into that a bit more in detail when the game is being released or the expansion is being released. Mute list, yeah, of course. Term filter, visual alerts, color filtering. We have some text commands here. The following text commands can now be used to adjust volume levels even during events such as cutscenes. That's awesome. I found myself very often to not have the right volume balance between the voices or the music, and having being able to adjust that inside of the inside of the cutscene is definitely awesome. New parameters have been added to the hard text command job gauge 1, job gauge 2. These parameters can be used to toggle the display of job gauges. Okay, so yeah, we have text command. That's awesome. We can integrate that into the clean interface macros. And of course, I will provide the changes here and talk about that. So this expansion is already packed with so many quality of life changes and so many features, the graphics updates. I guess I could produce 10 or more videos just on the launch day of Dawntrail without doing a single form of content. But yeah, we'll see about that. And I'm very hyped. I'm very happy to be able to do that again. And especially as a player enjoying Final Fantasy XIV as well, of course. So yeah, additions have been made to Auto Translation Dictionary. Additions have been made to PlayStation 4 and 5. Autocomplete Dictionary. New trophies. New music, sound effects, and voices. New layout of the game launcher has been changed. The title screen, our opening movie have been changed, of course. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the title screen. Options and licenses have been added to the title screen. Configuration has been renamed System Configuration. Now can be found under options at the title screen. Installation details have been added with options, displaying information on previous installations. The game version displayed at the top left of title screen now only includes the base package and most recent expansion. Notification will now be displayed when a player is logged out due to inactivity during periods of congestion. Okay. Display of certain world names has been changed in the world selection window. After registering to use the world visit system, accessing an Aetheryte and selecting visit another world server will display your pending registration. Retainer ventures can now be signed via the companion app. Okay, so yeah, check this out if you're interested in that. I'm not trying to do something on the mobile for my Final Fantasy. Just want to play the game, enjoy the game whenever I have the time for it, not just on the run or on the move. Viper and Pictomancer have been added to the solo rankings for Palace of the Dead, Heaven on High, and Eureka Authors. Okay, yeah, that absolutely makes sense. And this is the final sentence here, right? Okay, I'm just checking the time, which is more than 50 minutes already. So, wow, that's big changes, massive changes, and lots of them as well. I wanted to keep it as short as possible. I think I didn't succeed in that. But yeah, that's it. That's everything we have so far, the preliminary patch notes. Have a wonderful time in doing some last final preparations in about 20 hours. Apart from that, expect some awesome content on Dawntrail, especially from the creators of the game. Not only content creators, but yeah, I think we all will have covered you on all the aspects and all the spots that are required. And especially, like I said, the graphics updates will change something. And I will directly talk about at the start of the expansion. So yeah, stick around for more content on my channel. And of course, visit all the friendly other content creators that I mentioned in the video. You can find them in the description. MrHappy, Meoni, and Zane Lionhart, as well as DenmoMcstronhuge, when you want to see how the duty recording feature works and how you can do very cool movies and shots with that. Alright, so yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a splendid time and awesome start into Dawntrail. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep loving Final Fantasy.